You know, when you have audio check, check, 1 2 1 2. Good morning, everybody. Pedro, you the man.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? It's good to have everybody here. It is a glorious morning today. Weather is sitting perfect. The sun is sitting perfect, so life is cool. It is gravy. Tom,
Pedro, it looks like the weather's looking perfect in that Milky Way galaxy you're in.
Oh yes. It was funny. The first time I ever noticed the stars, I was in 7th, going into 8th grade. I went to this Christian camp, I remember, and there was this girl, I forget her name, but she was the prettiest girl there, absolutely smoking hot. Like, I remember just being like, wow, I mean, for a junior higher, smoking hot. And she started walking towards me. And I got so nervous. I was so nervous. Like, you're like, your heart starts to pump. And, I think she kind of liked me. I don't know. I felt like she did. But I got so nervous, dude. Like, I remember turning around and walking the other way. And I just looked up. And I remember, because you're out in the woods, and I looked up, bro, and it was the first time I had seen the sky, like just the stars. And I was stupefied. I was like, there are so many stars, because you live in the city, you don't see the stars. And it was the first time I'd ever been out to the woods where I saw the stars. And I just remember just being like, I was there probably about 10 minutes. Like, just looking up, just stupefied. And then I turned, I was like, oh, that girl. And then and I went back and was trying to, all I'm saying is, the first time I ever saw the beauty of the stars was as keen as, watching a beautiful woman, man. It just, I love the stars, dude. They're just beautiful. Yep.
There you go.
Long nights looking at the stars is fun for me. Alrighty then. So let's talk about Bitcoin and what Bitcoin has done for the week.
Oh, Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. Oh, where have you gone? It seems to be finishing the week out, coming down like we talked about earlier.
Went down for the week, came back up, literally hit the liquidity points that we set, which is very uncommon for me. So it started here. It came down, hit our liquidity, which was the 8-period moving average that we talked about, which we also had liquidity points right here with the purple lines. Then it shot all the way up to where the liquidity points was, which were from last week, which is right here. And then we settled down. And so by looking at that, this is the overview of it for what happened this week. But really what happened was this. Look, institutions knew that they were going to push it up for the week. And so what they did is they always will sell out up in the very beginning, like creating the demand wick, right? So remember we talked about how in the very beginning of the week, what they'll do is they will sell off on people knowing that they're going to finish it up. And so we saw that come in on Sunday where they opened it up, sold off. Remember, the reason why I point out Sunday is because Sunday is the, come on, Brian, you can do this, CME's, the CME's open, right? And that's large movements in the markets, right? Like that's where all the hedge funds can go and really put on large scale trades that they can just have it extremely leveraged. And so because of that, you want to pay attention to what Sunday does and how it opens up, right? And so, excuse me as I burp, I am so sorry, my bad. Okay. So with that, like when I'm looking,
that's it. You're fired.
I know, right? Just keep burping, bro. I don't know why I burp whenever we start because I'm not a burper. You know what I mean? I'm just not. So
you just ate a whole bunch of food. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. And dude, I gotta share this banging like cereal concoction that I made for another time. Let's focus on Bitcoin. Come on, ADD. Okay. So here's the key though. We saw on Sunday, right, that they sold off the market. So we knew that was happening. I said, guys, and on Monday when we went live, I said, we've got the 8-period moving average. We've got two areas that we could go touch, right? One was the area on the 8-period moving average sitting right here, which I was more apt to think that what they were going to do is that. But I said, if in case they do a sell-off, we have two other areas. We have that 13 area and we have that 11-10 area. But ultimately, I thought they were going to sit around here and they were going to most likely try to push it up. And so sure enough, if you guys want to go check out our Monday show, you'll see that it came down into our area here on Monday. Boom, hit it. We saw it go sideways here on Tuesday, which was sitting still in this range right here, you can see. And then we saw it push up and hit last week's liquidity, not last week's liquidity, but this liquidity area right here from what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's last month. No, boom. Still hit this area of liquidity. We saw the sell-off come in. And so the key point, the reason why they do this is because they need orders. Institutions need orders to be able to gauge what direction they can come in. So i.e., whenever I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, I want this market to go up, but I don't have enough of a position to really get in where I want. So I have to cause the sellers to come in for my buys. And so I will artificially sell off a market. As it's selling off, other people start to sell off. This is what institutions do. And then as they are selling off, I'm buying up whatever they're selling. And then when it's an area where there is an excessive amount of stops, so we call these stop hunting. So if ever you've been trading and they just keep dropping it and they just take your stop, what they're doing is they're stop hunting. So you want to find in a place where the liquidity is going to stop, right? Meaning there's going to be a huge amount. And typically you see that on big, huge candles. Okay, this is the body of the candle, and right next to it, you will see then the next week or the next candle, a sell off and then a push up. But when you see that long candle there, that is a sign of where stops are most likely going to sit. And especially on a daily candle, which is what you see me majority of the time look at, that is what I'm looking for, is that liquidity pull, the stop runs that they're looking to do. And with those stop runs, based off of whatever it is. So for example, these are going to be sellers right here, because if you notice that the market ended, or this candle, which is a daily candle, ended green. Okay. So if it's ended green, your stop there is going, or the stop that you're going to have there is going to be a seller, right? Because you want to sell your position off because you bought. So I know there's going to be a bunch of sellers sitting here once it hits this. And so if I'm a buyer, if I'm trying to buy, I want to absorb those sellers. So I'm going to artificially push this market down to where I know there's going to be a bunch of sellers. And then as it's coming down, I will buy back as well as buy more to put my position on. That's really important to understand. So when you're trading, you're not, this is why I say you kind of want to do the opposite at first so you can understand what's happening. If you think the market is going to go up, that's why you always see me sitting there talking about, hey, wait for the market to come down, and we'll see it come up, pop, and do that, right? That is what's happening. And then you'll see something like this, right, where it comes down, maybe go up, and then you'll see it pop, boom. But it'll keep, you can see here, it will have the low, and this will stay above this low, but take out these stops, right? And then we see it then do this, right? Like if you look at the S&P 500, that's what they did this morning. It's a classic move, like classic AI, right? Or excuse me, classic ES, right? You can see it. This is literally what they did this morning, right? Boom, look, you can see this here. They came in, they pushed this market up, right? This is the S&P 500. They pushed the market up, boom, sells off, right? Because they hit this high here. Like these stops are sitting right here, okay? And if you look, this is where we're going to see the sell-off for the rest of the day, right? It'll come up here, and then we'll see a sell-off later today. Actually, we might see it here. Give me 1 second. SP Crypto. 1 second. Yes. Eversource. No. Yes. US dollar. No. That's not what I know. S&P. Where are you? There it is. Is that it? Yeah, I think this is SPY. That's what it is. It's under SPY. Boom, boom, boom. SPY. Sorry about that. This is the crypto version of the S&P 500. So you can see here that this is how they played it, right? So they pushed this this market up. Boom. They dropped it. Boom. Came up. Drop. Right. They want to get this. Their stop sitting right here. There's also stop sitting right here. And so they're going to come and take those stops majority of the time, right? All these people who were long here going up, there's stops for them to take. So you can see here, every time we hit below this area here, right, we saw the market try to push up. Boom, came down, pushed up, came down, pushed up, sold off because they want to take all these stops here. So you can see right here, come on, there we go. I'm off just a little, I'm going to show you here so you guys can understand. So what they do is, let me make sure it's correct. Yeah, barely. And this is typically what they do. Like just by a tick, right? You're like, they took my stop by a tick. That's the reason why. Because they know you're going to mess with it. So this one hit just directly on it. So that's interesting. Yeah, they're coming back down to grab the rest of that because they want to stop all those people out. All right. So it's real important to pay attention to this. They come down, they take these stops sitting right here. There's stops sitting right here. You can see they came in, they pushed it back up, and then they're pushing it down. Now the key point behind this is when they hit this area here, there are literally, like I said, sellers sitting right there. And so this will allow them to be able to push this market back up if they're going to finish it strong at the top of the week. Or what they'll do is they will come in, you feel like you're about to win. So most people will top off. Like, remember I said how Mr. Saylor keeps topping off? He's the perfect exit liquidity, right? This is what they'll do is they'll take it up right here. People will top off, right? They'll let it rise up just a little, and then they just slam it down, right? Especially at the end of the week when they've been profitable for the last 4 days or 3 days, right? Since come on, brain, here we go. Since the Fed rate cut, right? This has pushed the market up. So now they've got to take premises because everybody wants to go long. So that's what they're doing. And you can see here on a weekly chart that we've definitely done good for the week. They dropped it down to push it up. So that's how they're playing this. Now, that's with the S&P 500. I want to point this out here with Bitcoin. It's a similar situation. But they're going to go through and they're going to try to take your money. And my job is to help you keep that money. Here you go. All right, and we're going to bring it back down to here. So looking at the weekly chart, we came in, popped it, and now it's going high. Now, here's the thing. We want to see this close somewhere up in this level here. We don't want to see a giant wick. We kind of want to see it kind of close up at these higher levels on that 116, 115.8 area. 116 areas where I want to see this potentially even above this wick here, because it will act as a resistance if it doesn't, which is going to be above us, which will then cause them. I want us to really kind of get legs and really start to see this market go. So that's why I want this to kind of go up. But again, the market is always right, and this flip zone acted as a good support here. So we came down, found support here, and then pushed back up, hit the supply up here again where the liquidity was sitting. Okay, and then we saw the sell-off come in. And so ultimately, me looking at this area right here, this acted as a perfect opportunity to short the market, which basically meant that and you could see them as they were pushing up, they weren't putting any demand wicks. Remember I was saying, I just don't trust the demand wicks. Or I just don't see demand wicks coming in. I think I saw it here on Monday. It was a Monday. I said, I just don't trust it. So here with this, I just see them coming back down, pushing this up, and then potentially, hopefully seeing it close at those higher highs. There's a lot of stops sitting right here. A lot of stops because it's put in higher highs. Look, it sees high, higher high, higher high, higher high. And so you're seeing low, higher low, higher low. Come on. I don't understand why it does that. Boom. Higher low. Well, the opposite. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Same low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So that's what I'm expecting to see right there. Okay, that's it in initial for BTC. Ethereum acting a little bit different. Ethereum, I was actually kind of shocked because I thought we were going to see a good rally this week for Ethereum. It really did. We saw the sell-off come in, and we said, if it is going to sell off, it's going to try to come and touch this low right here. They kept they're kept at higher low by holding support on the 20-period moving average. And also there was a liquidity area right here I did not mark, but that's it right here. Right, this is a stop pull again, or a stop, because if you look, this happened on Friday, right? There's all these people see this huge candle, and then you look for the wick that settles. This is the wick that settled, and then it came tapped, wants to go back up. I'm really looking for this potentially next week to find that higher high here. And so that's kind of like what I'm expecting here for next week, just simply because it will be in towards the last week. And I think what they're going to try to do, if we want to see it do really well for next month, we want to see this month end strong to go into next month where they can sell it off against all those people who went long. So it's some of those things that I'm looking at. Tom, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on Ethereum is that it should have been pumping more. We've talked about this a number of times. We even did a show about it last week or 2 weeks ago. And then actually we did a show about it saying Ethereum, it's time. And Ethereum then actually did pump. It was like I was Pedro Damas for a minute. They said it's time. The activity's there, the volume is there, but it needs to go, and it didn't. And it did. And so I was like, oh wow, okay, it's finally went. And then Ethereum said nope, and pulled back here. And I, along with many people in the great Twitterverse, were thinking that it was going to go up, 5,000, 5,500. Not from any technical perspective or chart perspective, but just from, it's time for it to appreciate because Bitcoin's been appreciating. The Bitcoin versus Ethereum trade has been favoring Bitcoin. It's time for Ethereum to catch up, and it did, and it sold off. And according to your chart, from what I'm looking at, it looks like we got a couple more $1,000 or $100 to come back down.
Yeah, most likely. But I want to see it close higher for next week. So us coming down to this liquidity, and then we have that 4,200 area is another area here that we could see it come back down to. But it's that 50 period moving average. So, yeah, it's just in a nutshell. I'm so sorry, dude. What's up?
I don't see the comments that you're looking at.
No, it wasn't even a comment. Because I'm trying to share this on X, and so as I went to X to share it, one of these, I'll just share it. It's funny. Okay, here we go.
These people. They're like, oh, burning magnesium is bad? Oh, I can't believe it.
It just popped up on my thing. I just saw the flame and I was like, wait, what happened? And then it was just like, and then I had to watch it. And then I sort of like, I just feel so bad for that person because like the kid's right there, she's celebrating, and then the husband's right. Talk about a trooper for the husband. The husband's like, oh shoot, she's on fire, and he's like runs over there to like a kid trying to like not to catch on fire. I'm sorry, guys. It's just all right. Let's move this here real quick. There we are. So, what was I saying? As I was trying to send that out.
For those of you who haven't noticed, I've got some. I was trying to put some additional graphics on the screen, and it froze with the words title there on the screen. I'm working on getting rid of that. It's not letting me do it. Get rid of it. Anyway. We can just keep going. Anyway, thanks for everyone that's watching here. Pedro's got the con, as they say here, and I'm behind the scenes suffering from the old stomach flu of some sort or another. So I got to come and go, as they say, or sit. I got to sit and stand pretty frequently. And so Pedro's got the show today.
Was it that you have?
Let's see it. Let's see if they've. See if we can figure out a way to. Only got 7 viewers today. If you could like and share this, we'd appreciate it, everyone. Always helps for you to click that share button. If you're watching on Rumble, to repost it. If you're watching on YouTube, click the share button, hit the copy link button, and drop it in an incognito window or something like that, so you can get credit for the share. We'd appreciate it. Helping us out here on this slow Friday. Now, why can't I make that go away? Just not letting me do anything.
What's going on?
Wonderful. But anyway, Pedro, this was certainly the interesting week. I mean, we had waited for this week since July, and we didn't get the anticipated movement we thought we were going to get. Because it was Fed week, everyone had been talking about interest rates, blah, 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 blah. In fact, frankly, I've been talking about them too much. They've been placing, massive importance on small rate cuts. So the market waited. We saw lots of consolidation. We saw Bitcoin travel in the idiot box for a couple of long weeks. Not really moving around a little bit, except on just, news of the world, and then it would correct immediately back into the idiot box. And we got to this week expecting a lot. On Monday, the show, I was like all excited. I'm like, it's Fed week, woo, woo, woo. We're going to see some volatility in the markets. And we didn't see dick all this week. The markets took this in stride at the 0.25% rate cut was priced into the market. There wasn't even that much volatility when it was announced for the 1 minute chart traders. It just kind of up and down a little bit. And I think it being a nice summer weekend in most of the East Coast and middle part of the U.S., everyone just took the rest of the week off. In London, a lot of people, apparently, because of the massive protests they had with over 1 million people, a lot of people didn't come down to the financial markets. Not just, obviously you can work from home on a lot of these things now, but a lot of the financial trading desks still rely on in-person desks. And the people that operate the exchanges do it in person. A lot of those people stayed home. So a lot of the liquidity stayed home, which maybe was a good thing. Maybe we didn't want the rates the minor rate adjustment to have that big of an influence, because in my opinion, it shouldn't have that big of an influence. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we ended up with as the title says, will next week be better? So that's the question, Pedro. Will next week be better?
I think we will have I think the market will move. I do think so. I think we're kind of taking our breath here. Saw a decent amount of volume coming into Ethereum, but not as much as I think you should have had comparatively, right? Like I thought we should at least gone up to the average, and we didn't. We kind of just saw it kind of just chill this week. So that's why I'm just kind of looking at this going like, I feel like it's getting ready to go up. Because if normally you have less volume coming in on the seller volume and we see it just stagnant, I think it's more or less saying people are apt to buy then versus selling. And so they were hoping maybe they were going to see a sell-off before they were going to push it up. So it's one of those ones I'm kind of looking at. Just the fact that we do have higher highs and higher lows. We've taken out these sellers here by pushing this up. That's right here. We've come back down support here, which is basically based off the weekly 8-period moving average on Ethereum. So that's why I'm sitting there going like, is this just kind of a pause week before we go up even higher? And it's one of those things. Look, weekly wise, when you look at it, small amount of volume, buyers, like similar circumstance, they even get down to our areas here and just basically shot up. Or I think it's going to shoot up, just simply because we do have a lack of sellers wanting to step in, and there's more people who want to buy. So real interesting. News-wise, what are your thoughts? What's going on news-wise? Have you paid attention to anything?
All I've been researching lately is antibiotics. You know what? I take that back. I did have some news items warehoused from yesterday. I can't bring them up right now because my screen is frozen. But I had an article about all the different cases that the SEC has dumped since the Trump administration took over, and it's quite a lot. I mean, obviously the Ripple case, SEC and Ripple both dropped all their appeals. The case is settled. Other cases, Binance, the SEC submitted a filing to dismiss its case against Binance. I don't know how that affects CZ's, criminal case, and I mean he's already gone to the joint, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get a pardon of some sort. And they've dropped various rulemaking cases in which the SEC created a rule and then told people they were breaking it, and they dismissed almost all of those cases. Most of them were against DeFi protocols. Remember, if you recall, they started talking about. Actually, it started about they started filing cases against Uniswap, some stuff like that. All that's gone away. Coinbase, famously, the SEC dumped the Coinbase lawsuit this year also, and that was filed all the way back in 2023. So it had 2 years of legal expenses and feeding the lawyers, and then the SEC said, no, this is stupid. And as we saw, Coinbase's stock has done amazing since then. Even in the NFT world, the SEC has ended investigations into OpenSea. If you recall, the big thing under the Biden administration and Gary Gensler was that the SEC would send all these people Wells notices, and that's a notice saying that you're under investigation, and please send us, not like a subpoena, it's just saying, hey, you're under investigation, preserve your communications, your assets in case you get a subpoena, that type of stuff. That got dumped also. And then, of course, a big one too, Robinhood. And Robinhood always said, look, we were always following the rules. We never were delving into areas that were not completely legal. And that's why we stuck with stocks. We barely went into crypto. We went into the crypto. We first started trading crypto. It wasn't even really crypto. It was just a fund on Robinhood in which you didn't own any. You could not exchange. You know, when the first Robinhood funds came out for crypto, you couldn't buy Dogecoin and send it to yourself, to your wallet. It was like, no, you had to settle to cash because they didn't actually, you weren't actually buying any Dogecoin. You're just buying their fund. And in one point, even the IRS said, yeah, if you're just buying a fund on an exchange, you're not actually holding the actual crypto. So all you need is the regular 1099 from the exchange. And the SEC dropped that whole thing as well. They were trying to go after them because the Robinhood at the beginning kind of screw up the markets when they got overwhelmed with volume, and their order flow to Citadel, I think it was, got all messed up. But you know, those were growing pains and that type of stuff. You know, like I mentioned, Uniswap, they received a Wells notice in 2024. Which just the SEC said you're an unregistered securities broker, money laundering, money transmittal. They heaped everything on them to get them to settle, and Uniswap said no, you know, we're not any of that. And so the Trump administration dropped that, and Gemini Trust, which is the owner of the Gemini exchange with the Winklevoss brothers, also got dropped. I mean, this list goes on and on much longer. Even Justin Sun and Tron. Just like Binance, Justin Sun was getting the business from the U.S. government, but the U.S. government said, no, you're fine too. I mean, it goes on. Consensus, which owns MetaMask, had its case dismissed. I mean, I just could keep going on. Kraken, you know, yada yada yada. Even Yuga Labs, that's the Bored Ape group, all dismissed, and as you see, Pedro, the whole market, as a result of the SEC being a normal group now, dismissing all those cases, and then in the past week or so, announcing that they once again are going back to being an advisory, you know, acting on behalf of people instead of acting on behalf of the enforcement division of the Department of Justice. And so with that being said, you know, the SEC got out of the business of enforcement by regulation, by dropping all the cases, and let everybody know we're going to be on the side of the investor and help investors have safe products, but also help them take their companies public, bring new products to market, make sure there's a fair playing field. And if you're wrong, if you make a mistake, it's not something we're going to refer to the Department of Justice and say, you made a mistake, oh my God, you're evil. We're going to say, you made a mistake, this is how it's supposed to work. Can you right the ship? And almost everybody is going to say, yeah, you know, we thought it was this way, but you guys gave us advice this way. Let's just do it right. Okay, no harm, no foul, just do it right. And that's how regulatory agencies are supposed to work. And so they did. And I also, on a side note, I've got to go get the charger from my laptop. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. While Tom is doing that, let's check out XRP. So XRP came down into our area here, came up into our area here of supply into last week. We thought it was going to push up, came back down, pulled back. I'm kind of waiting for it to come and hit this liquidity area right here. 1 second. It's a nice little liquidity area right here, and I'm going to remove these and put that up there just for Tom. I never took them down. You can see here, us hitting this area here is it's going to go through. I mean, I think we'll see it come back. I think we'll see XRP come down to this level here. Boom. No. Let's see. There we go. You can see it came up into this area here, which was supply. Took actually these stops right here, which is interesting. Look at all these stops and right here, man. Tapped and pulled it down. So that was really interesting. And all those people are upset and mad, and now they're trying to go short or trying to go long. Oh wait, yeah, because they were short. Yeah, it took them out. So those are buys. Oh no, we'll see what happens. But I am expecting a XRP to kind of come down to this liquidity area of that 191, or excuse me, 294, 293 area, and from there find some support right there, and then kind of push it up. And let's go ahead and add this here real quick. This. Give me 1 second. Hmm. 22. 11. Perfect. That is good. Awesome. This right here.
Welcome 76 Norton to the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. As you may suspect, I'm a little under the weather and behind the scenes today. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. As always, you got any questions, let us know. Ka-ching's in the house. Ka-ching coming all the way, as I like to say, coming all the way to you from the great communist state of Minnesota. Thanks for joining us. And as always, welcome everybody. Please comment, share, like, follow, subscribe, whatever. Just do it.
Frustrating. All right, I'm going to do that here. Boom. So this is
frustrating is not being able to get rid of this random text graphic. Driving me nuts.
Driving me nuts. So I like this area right here between that 293 area, 293.9 area to just this area right here. You know what's funny? Why is it? It's 293.9 to the 293.4 area is what I'm liking. I'm a little further back than what I normally am on my setup here. And I'm like, come on, guys, you can do it. I know I can read you. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell. I like this area here. We'll see what happens. But I'm expecting it to come down to there, play a little hopscotch, and then see it rally back up. The fact that we have the 20-period moving average sitting right here, also on the daily, makes me more makes it more apt just to come down and tap that, boom, and then push back up. So there you go, XRP for the XRP people. And what else?
Pedro, give the 30-second review of XRP with numbers. Like, say, to recap, I think it's going to come down to mention the price level and stuff. A lot of people on phones, it's hard to see.
Oh, I got you. All right. So from an XRP standpoint, coming down, I think we're more apt for XRP to come down to an area of support, which is sitting at the 20-period moving average, which is that 294.8 area all the way down to the 293.4 area. So that's kind of like where I'm looking at for this weekend, just simply because you have a 20-period moving average, plus you have the liquidity pool sitting right here. And it's a nice little area to go and tap to get extra liquidity, to get set up for your system or for their trade. And so it'd be a good trade for you, good trade for people. And then if we see it find support here, expected to go up even higher to come and try to test lower highs here, roughly ranging at that 337 area. We're going to do this here. That's a nice little trade there. That'll be fun money for you, for everybody to take part of. Yeah, that's it.
Money, money, money.
Money. But yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that's it. That is it. That's all I can say here. I thought from a news standpoint, what we're seeing right now is pretty interesting. The fact is, did you hear about the situation?
The guy from the Jersey Shore show, the situation.
Wait, what happened?
You asked me, have I heard what's up with the situation? And then you stopped.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. My brain is out of it today, so I apologize. So let me go ahead real quick. In relationship to, there was a person. She is, I forget her name now. It was called the Nicki Minaj challenge, and this is what they're doing. I'm not joking. This challenge, they get a couple cans, and with a stiletto, they've got to be able to stand on one leg, bending with the other leg crossed over, and the leg that is standing, right, at the front part of the heel has got to be on the can or whatever it is. And they've got it. Yeah, right? This is nuts. Right? And I guess Nicki Minaj can do it. So I guess other influencers are trying to do this. And there is this pregnant mom not pregnant mom. There was a woman who just gave birth, and she's sitting there. And like legit, this is the part that kind of blows me away. She literally has I don't know if she's trying to show off her post body after the baby or whatever, but she gets on top of the can, bro, and she has stacked. She has baby formula cans. She has stacked up. She gets up on top of it, standing on a stiletto. Not standing, excuse me. Squatted on a counter. So it's like counter, couple things, and then her stiletto where she's literally standing on. She falls, and when she falls, she literally breaks her back. Like a couple of the vertebrae, I guess cracks it. And I'm like, all for a freaking challenge. Like, I just thought it was crazy, man. I'm like, what is going on?
Crazy.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. So, Russia to seize financial assets of international Satanists.
Satanists?
Yep. Satanists.
Satanists?
Yes. Satanists. Like, you heard me right. Like, yeah. It's a bit. I'll post it I'll send it to you as well. I just saw this going.
Those evil Satanists.
That's just weird.
How dare they?
Confirms TikTok deal approved in call with China President Xi Jinping. You know, the the fact that Xi Ping is willing to give up TikTok makes me wonder if intrinsically they can actually mine that data still, regardless.
Well, he's just giving up the access to the U.S. market. I mean, there's still billions of people that use it around the world. Not like he has a choice. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, they told him either you do this, and they probably get some, still a percentage of the revenue, but just no access to the data.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I just think it's interesting. Justin, not Justin. What's his name? Justin's son. That's not who I'm speaking about. Gemini co-founder Tyler Winklevoss says former SEC chair Gary Gensler is a total disgrace to the United States. I thought that was really
funny.
Oh
shit, Sherlock.
Late there, buddy. It's almost like when your friend is about to get in a fight, right? And you look at him, you're like, "Are you gonna do this?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's all, and then all of a sudden, right? But you see the bouncers coming in the club, and he grabs the guy who's starting the fight, right? And then he grabs your arm. He goes, "Hold me back, hold me back." After the bouncers are escorting the other guy outside the club, and you're like, "Dude, get off me, man! Don't touch me!" You starting this fight, and that's like the Winklevoss. It's almost after the fact, you could. Why didn't you say that earlier, buddy?
Right, exactly. If you said that a year ago, that might be a little different.
Oh wow, bro! You're like, all right, I guess we're taking this on. Let's go. This is gonna hurt, that big dude's, that punch is gonna hurt bad. Lord protect me, right? But in that same sense, it's only after the fact. But I guess better late than never.
That's a good point.
At least he came out somehow. Yeah, I just thought it was real interesting. What are your wow, there's really not much going on today except for just some of the stuff. Oh, did you check out the new glasses that Meta has come out with? The new
glasses.
Yes. So you know how they've been talking about, I forget the name of their glasses. What do they call them? They're Meta glasses. The Meta glasses.
Yeah. The Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Yeah, there's another brand that's now has it too, like Oakley or something.
Yep. So what was interesting is they came out with the new stuff, and nobody's talking about this yet. And I'm like, how has this gone unnoticed? So what it does, and this technology has been out now for a few years, where we have devices that can read brain waves, and without us having to have a whole entire contraption on your head. Now, granted, the contraption on your head helps out a lot, right? Really lets you know what is going on within the brain. It does imaging and all the stuff that correlates with that. But we do have the ability to kind of read your thoughts, where you can actually think of a picture, and I've talked about it here on our show a couple times, where you can think of a picture and it can create that picture in a decent fashion. I mean, it's not perfect. Like if I was thinking about Tom, right? It would show maybe Tom's outline and show, Tom has a little goatee. It may not get his details of his face perfect, right? But if you looked at it, you're like, oh yeah, that's Tom, but kind of blurry and that stuff. That's how good these devices are now, without having to actually be on your brain. Meta is now taking that type of technology, and it's able to read your brain, and you can tell the AI glasses what you're thinking, what you want to see, and then it has a little wrist system on it that through small micro movements and with your brainwave, you can actually control the Meta glasses through VR and AR connected. So you can sit there, pull up things. If I want to like take a picture of somebody with my glasses, I can just do it, be like, and just think about it and do a little subtle movement. And it literally does it. And the part that is crazy, so creepy, is the fact that it's able to read your mind through your brain waves. And the AI is literally learning this. So every single glass, every single meta band that goes out there, it's literally reading your brain waves. And I bet you sooner or later it's going to get so good. And I wouldn't be shocked if they don't have it, we just don't know it yet, that there are glasses out there that actually read other people's brain waves. And again, let me put on my tinfoil here and wrap it up, because the reality is as we keep moving, this is the worst it will ever be for these devices. The worst.
They will only get better.
They will only get better. I spent literally 2 hours talking with Grok this morning. I spend many hours, as Tom laughs at me, where I will actually have, I'll have Gemini Google, I'll have Grok, and I'll have a couple other devices with other AIs interacting and talking with each other while I'm orchestrating and posing questions out so I can understand things from a geopolitical standpoint. And when one is off, the other one will actually say, no, you know what? Perplexity is probably the best one. Honestly, when it comes to actually real solidified facts, I feel like that. Grok and Perplexity. But what's interesting is I do get the most creative ideas from Gemini, which is really interesting when you set them all together and you have them talk with each other. And I ask questions like, all right, from a geopolitical standpoint, how is China going to react to interest rates dropping in relationship to the rest of, in comparison with their economy, because it's kind of in shambles right now, and in relationship to America dropping interest rate and the rest of the world already, right? Like all of these questions. And I said, give me 5 different perspectives. What could actually happen, right? And then I talk, and literally the rest of the AIs will talk with each other. It's really, really interesting to hear them. But what I think what's more important is the fact is that this is the worst it will ever be. And there are things that they are messing up still, and I gotta correct them. Like sometimes I'll talk about the yuan dollar, and then talking about the yen and how they play off each other. And a lot of times I'll be like, no, you have it wrong. Look, did this and this, like from a price standpoint, we saw a sell-off coming here on the US dollar, which saw these type of movements happening in with other currencies. And there's like geopolitical financial war going on, like just straight up, as we're seeing right now. But many of us are frenemies, and so I always try to get them to talk. But again, I'm sooner or later going to have these conversations with my mind, not with my not with my words. Sooner or later, this is going to be happening with my mind. I'd give it maybe 3 to 5 years, maybe 10. Like that's just crazy. And I just find it real interesting. And with that said, when you look at Meta stock, they came out with this amazing product and they sold off. I just think it's
typical.
Yeah, right? Like look, they heard about it back here, right? Like, oh, they're coming out. When they next time when they talk about it, this is what they're going to talk about. And so everybody sold it off, bought it, and then they sell it off again, right? So I just thought it was funny. What's it? Buy the rumor, sell the news. It's so cliche.
Hey, Pedro, let's do. I'd like to fix this graphics problem. So let's take a 3-minute commercial break, and
definitely,
and come back to the house here in 3 minutes or so.
All right, sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a moment here. Let me make sure our mics are off. Well, it's not. We're live on YouTube. Rumble's still coming up here.
Well, to our people over on Rumble, or to our people over on YouTube, good to have everyone. You guys rock the mic. I don't care what those guys say about you. I think you're awesome. All right, here we go. So one of the coins I pay attention and I watch is HNT, and so we're starting to see a bit of a sell-off. So here's one area you can kind of take. This would be an area that you could use as a liquidity area here. So let's pull this up. Expect a bit of a push up from here. So it's a weekly low here. So we should see some form of push up. And again, this is be a quick little play. It's a liquidity pull. This is one of those 1-to-1s. Once it hits 1-to-1, take off 70% of your trade. And then what do? We move up the stop to the local low. And then after that, we will then see if it continues up and see if you can make money. But again, this is just one of those quick little plays. You take quickly and then get out. So that's going to be that 226.6 area is what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's about it in a nutshell.
Yeah, well, welcome everybody back on all of the different outlets we're broadcasting on. Thanks for that extended commercial break while we took care of rebooting a few things in the background as I reboot my gastrointestinal system. Sometimes we need to reboot the computers as well. That was taken care of now. Now we've got a system that's all good and ready to go, but we're still going to come to the end of the show here in a moment. This is the time in the show in which I ask you if you guys got any questions. Let us know. You know what? I did see a question that someone had earlier about Jesus mentioned XLM or Gala.
All right, boom. Check out Gala here.
Ka-ching, if you're still watching out there, I feel sad for you that Waltz is running again. Although there's a good chance, maybe someone could unseat him. Unless everyone in Minnesota has got the Trump derangement syndrome, which is possible.
It's very possible. We actually had a trade here that we've kind of been waiting for the play. So this was the area here that we're looking to get in on. Our stop was actually lower than here. This is where it was sitting at actually. And it looked like we were going to be trying to set up a high of all the way to the top here. It looks like I was trying to point out to. Wow, yeah, there we go. So yeah, the trade there looks like it might send here. Amount of volume coming in. It's still a little sparse. I mean, you can see here that the volume here is low, but you are seeing buyers come in, but I just don't see any buyer wicks. So that's my only hesitant. But if it starts to come in with a lot of volume, we'll see something where you'll see pullbacks. So you'll start to see demand wicks. So that's what you're waiting to see. If you're looking to hold on to this is a good little area to buy, good little consolidation on Gala. So yeah, I would not this would be a decent area between 107 area to about the 01 or 1 cent area is not bad. So again, we're talking this range here is really where would be a nice place to buy. And then if it does come in with major volume, you could see it definitely pick up at least to that 6 cent area. So it looks like a 6x potentially. You could see it cap. And then if it goes higher than that, we should then get it to that 14 cents. But again, this is all predicated on, is there enough hype that they could actually pull from to kind of get this going? What was the other one? It was Gala, and then what else? XLM.
XLM.
Yeah. Yeah, XLM. It's still doing what we talked about the other day. Basically, we're coming down. We're bouncing off of. I think it's the weekly. Where is it at? Yeah, it looks like it's just bouncing off the 89 and 100 here. The key is what we want to see is just keep increasing a buyer volume while it finds support on that 100. So you can see how we found support as we start to come down. We want to see it bounce off the 100, kind of go up, bounce off the 50, which is going to be right here. And then we'll want to see it go up then from there. So that's the key point, is to see it come back down to that 89, 100, and then push up above the 50. And we see it bounce off the 50 because the 50 will do that. And then from there, we'll see it go up. And by that moment, then you'll start to have a trending 8. And then it can start to bounce off of that as it comes down like that. And it looks like when it starts to trend, it really turns well. You can see that, right? Boom, look at that explosion. And then, I mean, before you know, you're sitting pretty nice on Stella. So that's what we're looking for. All right, guys, that's about it for there.
Wait, hold on. Before we go, Pedro, let's give our in-house meme coin here a shout out here to Fire Chicken. Wow. Let's take a look at Fire Chicken.
Fire Chicken. Speaking of Fire Chicken, Fire Chicken has been doing strong this week. Look at them. Wow. Since Sunday, they've done nothing but push up. That's nice. Real nice. Look at that.
Real nice.
And then you're seeing volume come in, which is good. That's what you want to see. It's following that 8 on the 8 period moving average. So once it breaks that, you'll see it come back down to that 8 period sitting right here. You've got a little bit of resistance area that you can see that they're playing off of right here. So
an earlier comment said that there's a reward system for buying or something like that. Kaching said 10% bonus on Fire Chicken buys through the weekend. So get yourself $100 worth of Fire Chicken, and they'll hit you up with $10 worth of extra Fire Chicken. So you got a little incentive program going on.
Oh yeah. So it'll be nice if this thing takes off. The extra 10% might be a nice little pretty penny for you. If this thing hits, 20, 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, wouldn't be bad. Would not be bad. All righty then.
Bow chicka bow wow.
There we go.
Is that all you got for us today, Pedro?
That really is, man. That's kind of it. I'm kind of dull today, so sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm not exactly my full self either here. Happy joy. Let's see if I'm even set up right here. Hold on a sec here. Maybe I don't even know where I am in this. Desk cam. Hey, there's Pedro. Wow, I can't even find myself on this thing anymore. Users Herlihy. I was going to turn my camera on here just to say hi, but I can't even find that. Desk cam. There I am. Am I here? Nope, that's the scene back in Ottawa. I am not in Ottawa. I don't have that set up right. The striking chair is empty there. That's the scene in Ottawa without the green screen going. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's all we got for you today. Not a lot of news. Like I said, this was a boring week. It was a boring week, in which we expected a whole bunch of stuff. We expected a whole bunch of stuff, and we didn't get it. Just didn't get it. But that's all right. A boring week in which maybe you make a buck or two, or even better, you don't lose any money. Even in boring weeks, if you preserve your capital, that's still a win, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to feeling better. Hopefully on Monday, I'll be back in Ottawa. It's been back and forth to Toronto too much lately. But that's what happens when the entire family gets sick. So
yeah, it's literally all of you guys, from stepdad, or not stepdad, but from father-in-law all the way to wife.
Let's at least go out with a little fun here. Let's get some. Let's put all gassed up on here.
All gassed up. Oh, let's go,
ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to have the last comments today? Let's see what we got here. Let's see, Baby Draco. He's usually the one with the last comments. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to everybody for watching here. Pedro, thanks for taking over the show the past couple days. Sorry we missed you yesterday, but we hit you up today. We got a little bit of information to you today. Talked about the lack of fun we had, or markets had this week, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have fun next week, right, Pedro? All right, Pedro, you take us out here today.
You guys are amazing. Appreciate it, guys. Please like, subscribe button, and if not, you guys have a safe weekend. If you guys do, remember, wave across the street and don't look directly into the sun. That's my tip.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Taking a second to look into everything I can spirit beneath all the hate and the good in the way that they want to just make me believe in anything they can conceive. Keep it inside the brick with the flow.